Good morning, children. This is the video for the revision of the chapter 1, Reproduction Organism, Part 3. In the previously we have discussed about the asexual reproduction and initial steps of the sexual reproduction. Now we'll discuss the events during the sexual reproduction. There are the three steps or three events. The first is a pre-fertilization event, the second is a fertilization event, and third is the post-fertilization event. And in the pre-fertilization event, the male and female gametes are produced through the meiosis. During the fertilization event, the male and female gametes fuse together to form the zygote, while in the post-fertilization event, the zygote develops into the new individual. In the pre-fertilization event, the gametogenesis takes place. The gametogenesis is the process of formation of gametes, male and female gametes, which are haploid structures from the meiocytes. So, meiocytes undergo meiosis to produce the male and female gametes. Meiocytes are diploid structures, while the male and female gametes are the haploid structures. The gametes produced may be homogametes or isogametes, which are similar in appearance. Morphologically, they appear similar externally. For example, in the case of some algae like the cladophora, while the heterogametes are morphologically distinct gametes, the male gametes are smaller in size, while the female gametes are larger in size. The male gametes are known as anthrozoids or sperms, and the female gametes are known as egg or ova in the case of the female. Depending upon the presence of the male and female reproductive structures, plants are divided into two groups. One is called the homothallic, other is the heterothallic. Homothallic are also known as the monoecious plants, which bears both male and female flowers on the same plant. While in the heterothallic plants or dioecious plants, one plant bears either male or female flowers. The examples of the male monoecious and dioecious plants are the cara, sweet potato, cucurbits, and coconuts are the monoecious plants, while the marchantia, papaya, and date palms are the dioecious plants. So you might have observed in some papaya plants, the papaya fruit is not developed, flowering takes place, but papaya does not appear. That is because it may be a male plant. Similarly, in the case of the animals are hermaphrodite animals which bear both the sexes, that is, male and female reproductive organs are present in the same animals. For example, in the case of the teniosolium, the body of the teniosolium is made up of the segments or proglottids. Each proglottid contains male reproductive structures as well as female reproductive structures. So male and female gametes are produced in the same segment and the self-fertilization takes place. Although in the case of the earthworm, the male and female reproductive structures are the same earthworm, but it shows the cross-fertilization, that is, the sperms of the one earthworm is transferred to the another earthworm, which shows the cross-fertilization. Similarly, it takes place in the case of the leeches and sponges. So thus, the meiocytes of the diploid plants, when undergoes meiosis to produce the male gamete, it is called the microsporogenesis. If the meiocytes undergoes meiosis to produce the female gamete, it is called the megasporogenesis. The gamete transfers. Once the gametes are produced, they are transferred So generally the male gametes, which are smaller in size, they are motile, they are transferred from the male organism to the female organism. So generally male gametes are motile and they are transferred from the male organism to female organism, while the female gametes are stationary, they are larger in size. Since male gametes are transferred from the male organism to female organism, the number of the male gametes is quite large. It is because during transportation, most of the male gametes are lost and are not able to reach to the female gamete. So what is the medium of gamete transfer in the case of the lower plants like algae, bryophytes and pteridophytes, while in the higher plants it is the air which transfers the male gamete like pollen grains from the male plant to the female plant. The second event is the fertilization. It is the fusion of the male and female gamete. So syngamy is a term used to describe such event. So it is a fusion of the male and female gamete to form the diploid zygote. Since the male gamete is haploid, female gamete is haploid, so the structure found after the fertilization is diploid structure, which is known as zygote. The fertilization may take place externally outside the female body, generally in some organism like fishes and amphibians. So such animals are called the oviparous animals. They lay eggs and sperms outside the body, while the internal fertilization occurs inside the female body. For example, in the terrestrial organism like fungi, bryophytes, gymnosperms, angiosperms, reptiles, birds, mammals. Parthenogenesis is a process in which the organism develops without fertilization. So the process in which the unfertilized egg directly develops into the fully formed haploid animal, that is called the parthenogenesis. For example, the drone of the honeybee, aphids, wasp, turkey and lizard. If you look at the life cycle of the honeybee, the queen honeybee produces unfertilized egg and fertilized egg. So if the egg is fertilized, then it is called the fertilized egg, and if egg is not fertilized, it is unfertilized eggs. It develop into drones parthenogenetically and forms a male bee called drone. So drone produces sperms through the mitosis. Since male drones are haploid organism, therefore they produce the sperms through the mitosis. While the fertilized egg, if it is fed with the royal jelly, it develops into queen and the queen produces egg. So queen is diploid. It produces the eggs through the meiosis and the zygote is formed. This fertilized egg, if it is fed in the honey, then it develops the worker, which are sterile and they take care of the beehive. Parthenocarpy is the development of the fruit without fertilization. In case of the fungi and algae, the zygote undergo resting period. During the resting period, under the unfavorable conditions, it produces a thick wall around it. When favorable conditions appear, it undergoes a meiosis to produce the haploid spores, and these haploid spores develop the new individual. In case of the higher plants, the zygote divide mitotically and undergoes cell differentiation to produce the embryo. The oviparous animals are those animals which produce the egg, while the viviparous animals are those animals which produce the which give birth to the animal organism. In case of the higher plants, the fertilization takes place inside the ovary. After the fertilization, the sepals it fall off, petals also fall off, stamens also fall off, while the ovary develops into a fruit. Ovule develop into the seeds and zygote develops into the embryo. The fruits have the structure which bear the seeds, and seeds bear the embryo. The embryo will develop into the new baby plant or new individual. That is all for this chapter. Thank you.